Thinking they were Chicos for way too long. Sabotage my own goals while I thought I was close, but I knew all along. I knew which way to go, but I
Hey, yo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. How we freaking doing? Well, let's get a little bit better song before we start out. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. For those of you guys who are new here, my name is Percussive173 and welcome on into tonight's stream. Hopefully you guys are doing amazing. Hopefully you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We have a lot of really incredible things planned for the future. As you guys have starting to see, I'm starting to post content again because I actually have some time to edit the stuff, and we're doing some really awesome things coming up. We have some really cool things planned. If you guys want to know exactly what's going on, make sure you join the Discord because you'll get notified of everything that's going on. All the vibes, all the good people, and you know, we're just gonna do our thing like we always do. Whether it be Call of Duty, whether it be Arc Raiders, whether it be Marvel Rivals, I mean, we're starting a whole bunch of new shit. And it's really exciting to me. It's really cool. Tonight, so if you guys missed it, last night, we'll start it there, right? Last night I had Elise or OX join the PSP podcast. And if you guys didn't know, that's what we're doing tonight. And we have a different guest tonight. Yesterday we talked about the realness and about being real in the content space. Tonight we have an incredible person, and I could not be more excited to introduce her to you. I mean, honestly, with that being said, I say we roll it. What do you guys think? Let's roll it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the PSP podcast, featuring your friendly host, Percussive173, where PSP stands for Spreads Positivity, where we educate.
The 3 E's, right? You can educate, you can entertain, you can be empathetic.
Have you encountered any gender-related obstacles or biases while building your career in content creation?
I would say the cyber stalking.
By bringing in the best of the best. You still do that, so let's not discount that. So what really made you go into streaming? What was that decision? What was that move that made you, Nick, as I'm very sorry, I know I'm teasing you, but it's literally, it's one of those things that we can do, post everywhere, post often, and do it your own way. And have fun. And have fun and be yourself.
Fine. Have fun, honestly. Like that, I love that so much because it's so true. Like, if you like the content you're making, like if you're watching it and you like it, you're not the only person.
From fitness to establish a new habit or a routine, what is your message to them?
Start with less than you think you need.
Too fitting. Would love to get some tips and tricks of the trade on like how you kind of do things in the cosplay field.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that, especially because like I've done a little bit of everything, right? So I've made some costumes, I've bought some costumes, I have my friends' old costumes, I've commissioned costumes, I like craft all kinds of things, but also I wear things. Like there's a whole smorgasbord if I do a little bit of everything when it comes to cosplay.
To VTubing and animation. This is something that I may want to get into. How should they start?
Ooh, I think everyone should start on YouTube. I think YouTube is going to be your best place for launching
metrics that creators should be paying attention to, in my
opinion. Yeah. I think, and like specifically with like VTubing, I think it's, I think all of that is like kind of like the difficulty level is like bumped up to like expert.
And our goal at the PSP podcast is to educate and inspire aspiring creators. And we are super excited for this week's episode, and we can't wait to see you there. So let's have a freaking party. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into tonight's episode of the PSP podcast, where I'm your friendly host, Percussive173, and PSP stands for Perk Spreads Positivity. This show is dedicated to inspiring aspiring creators, as you guys saw in the introduction video here, and we're trying to help you as new creators build confidence, discover new creators, discover certain aspects, and maybe take some of the things from their journey and put them into your own as you guys start your journey into the world of content. Today, I am somebody who embodies like pretty much the confidence, the community, and the creativity. And I am super excited to welcome in Pixel Vix. How are you today? Welcome on into the PSP podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody who may not know who you are?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone, I am Vix. I am Pixel Vix across all channels on social media. I primarily started off in cosplay. I've been guesting as a cosplayer for the last decade across the southern United States, from large shows like WeebCon to smaller state shows. And then the pandemic happened, and I really missed that community aspect. And I'd always wanted to get into streaming, and I was like, now's the time. So I just kind of jumped in. And it has been the best thing I have ever done. And so now I not only have a creative community within cosplay, but now I have a wonderful, loving, growing community just within like the streaming and gaming space too.
And I actually saw that because I popped into your stream a little bit earlier, and you were doing some
Oh yeah,
D&D.
with D&D.
Yeah, that
I
was so
feel
great.
like I love getting to share the D&D because I'm very passionate about D&D. One would say I'm obsessed.
W.
But like D&D style streams are so hard to stream because they aren't very interactive. And so I always try to put like a warning like, hey, I'm going to be a little delayed replying or reading things, but I really want to share it with everybody because I'm really passionate about storytelling and story like collaborative story making. And D&D is a wonderful place to do that. So I'm glad that you enjoyed. Things were getting a little chaotic today.
We love chaotic. Like, we're streamers. Like, chaotic
Exactly,
energy
yeah.
is how we thrive. But so you mentioned you were a cosplayer. So I have to ask, what's your favorite cosplay that you've ever done?
Let's see. That's a hard one. I normally have like 3 or 4 answers to
Sure, no
this.
worries.
I have one. If you've ever seen, a lot of my cosplays are very like anime based. But
Okay.
if you've ever seen Tokyo Ghoul,
Ooh, I love Tokyo
there
Ghoul.
is okay. So Hinami, Tokyo Ghoul. I made her Kagune. And if you don't know anything about the show, then a Kagune is essentially like their organic weapon. It's like kind of part of them, but she has these elaborate wings and like think of her like as like a butterfly and like these like ribbon tails. And so I made these like huge like fleshy looking wings that like moved in and out and they had lights glowing in them. I competed at I think it was Fan Expo Dallas like 2019 maybe with that, and that's been I still have it in my closet. I like refuse to throw it away. It's in like pieces because it's so large to store, but I think that might be my favorite. It took me like 8 months to build.
That's incredible. And I have a real affinity for people in the cosplay world. Like, I had Dark Lady Cosplay join the podcast a
She's
while
lovely.
back. She's a wonderful human, and I adored talking to her about cosplay. So I guess my question for you, actually I have a bunch of questions, but you know what? I'll start with this
I'm
one.
here.
The what is your advice to any new creator that may want to get into cosplay?
I think the biggest advice I have is just to do it, just jump into it.
Hell yeah.
And that you don't have to like go really big your first time, that everything's a learning step or it's a like there's a huge learning curve. And there are a lot of skills. You don't have to learn everything at once. In fact, you can easily jump in like nowadays because I feel like store-bought cosplays are so easily accessible. So that's one is you can just buy your cosplay anywhere. Do your research, obviously, or just do a closet cosplay, which is stuff that's just in your closet already. A lot of video game characters tend to be easily created using things just lying around your house or from the thrift store.
That's honestly like a really cool thing to say, because I remember when Dark Lady came on, she's like, you don't have to be great at everything, but just start by doing something. It starts with your basic costume, and like then it will evolve over time. And it's really cool because so how long have you been cosplaying? And also, how long have you been streaming?
So I think I'm hitting the 10-year mark as far as cosplaying.
Oh, W.
I think technically it'll be this upcoming year I will hit the decade mark.
Oh, cool.
So a very long time for cosplay. And then for streaming, I started like right in the pandemic, so I'm going into like the 6th year almost.
So
we're on the 5th year right now.
I made the mistake of starting after the pandemic. I had a different account during the pandemic, but I deleted that TikTok account because I was like, you know what? I want to do something completely different. I don't want to be the talk to the live just like solely like from a phone. I want to actually like game and utilize my computer. And I didn't transition very well, so I ended up deleting my old TikTok account. And so now I'm kind of starting from scratch with like a new TikTok account, but hey, I think it's doing pretty well. But
I think we've all been there.
It's like you have to make that decision on like, do you want to like completely change your brand, and how do you properly change your brand and stuff like that? And it's a whole challenge. It's a whole thing. So, what would be your advice to any new creator that may want to start streaming?
I feel like a lot of it is just jump, but
Mm-hmm.
just like go ahead and just do it. I'm a very detail oriented person. I get lost in the details. I could spend hours and hours and hours just like researching stuff before I like ever pull the trigger. Um and then I'll like talk myself out of stuff all the time, or I'll get cold feet. No one believes me when I say I'm more introverted as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Uh or that like I do have anxiety, and that like I'm just really good at like how do I say it? Like talk like hyping myself back up. I think because I've dealt with it so much, especially like being in the creator space for so long. So my first advice is, one, just don't talk yourself out of it. Just jump into it. Two, make sure you are doing some kind of research. Like have some kind of game plan. Don't just go in and completely wing it unless that's like your brand. But like are you gonna niche down? Are you gonna be a variety streamer? What does that mean? Are you gonna do a face cam? Are you gonna be a VTuber? What kind of games are you gonna play? Like what's your style gonna be?
I think we all have that like motion where we're all kind of still trying to figure out exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it. I mean, there are definitely some creators out there who have like kind of figured that out, but like it's a whole world of trying new things, learning, creating new things, failing, and it's a very very wonderful world. The world of content is something that I'm super passionate about, and like seeing streamers like be around the industry for as long as they have, it's just really cool because you learn so much from so many different people because
Mhm.
your journey is your own. And like my
Mhm.
advice is just do it, find what you love over time. Don't expect it to come like right away, because
Yeah.
utilize YouTube to learn like all your technology stuff. Like there's a YouTube video for
Yes.
everything. Like I learned OBS. We actually had a conversation like when you that
Yeah.
you guys couldn't hear about OBS just prior to the podcast, and like I learned everything from like OBS or like from other creators, and like it's all
Same.
about like just finding your journey, because there's only one journey, but it's always what you make of it.
Right. And I think it's also like the journey along the way. Like it's not gonna happen necessarily overnight. And
Mm-hmm.
like you want to be able to like kind of have time to like write that story too. And that's part of the fun in it. And you want to be able to like enjoy the content that you make. It shouldn't just be like a grind always. It definitely can be sometimes, but like you want to ultimately enjoy what you do and what you put out.
Because what we do as creators is for the viewers, not
Hmm.
just for creators. I happen to be one of those weird creators that makes content for creators, and also the viewers, but a lot of which for creators. And like the content that I make is for a very niche group of people, stuff that like I love being able to put something like this PSP podcast together, because it allows people to kind of learn from other people's journeys, and like take pieces and parts and maybe invest them into yourself. So speaking of your journey, what was that point in your content journey that you felt like, oh wow, this is really fun, this is working?
I think it was about a year in to cosplaying. I'd always like heard of it. I was always into like pop culture stuff, but I'd never been to a convention. And so like whenever I first got a convention like near me, I was living in Louisiana at the time. I think it was Lafayette Comic Con. So I was like, let's go. Um, I had followed other cosplayers, like some that I'm friends with, like Yaya, for example, and like her story and her cosplays were so inspiring. I was like, I think let's just do it. Why not? The chance is here. Let's just have fun with it. I'm far away from home, like no one's gonna know me anyways, and I'm gonna be like in a wig and stuff. So I bought like my first cosplay. I jumped into it, and then I was like, oh my god, I love this feeling of like getting to kind of be in somebody else's shoes and just like the craftsmanship of it. And so I think a year into that journey, I got approached actually by the content or the con coordinators for like the same business, and they asked me if I was interested in guesting as a cosplayer. And I was like, what does that like really entail? Like, I don't really know what that means. And so they kind of asked, did I have prints or anything? I didn't have anything. So I was like, okay, how do I make prints and stuff? But it was such a cool like journey to learn about like the other side, like the business side of it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I always say now, because I've been doing it for 10 years, that I've gone to so many conventions. I enjoy the business side more than like just going to just walk around. I think it's the community aspect that I get to interact with the community more by like actually working the conventions as a cosplayer than, or even in Artist Alley, than just like going normally. I think it gives me that opportunity to like make connections and make friends and share my knowledge too. I think that was like when I was like, oh, this is actually like an avenue I can follow. This is kind of working. And then I think it was my first year into streaming. I did a big like subathon celebration. I was like my first year, like I did it. I made it an entire year, and I cried. I cried at the very end because I was completely like blown away. I was like, I've made so many friends who I wouldn't have had the privilege to make if I had never gone live. I would have never jumped into communities. I would have never learned certain skills. So I think those two, like the year mark was for me. It was like, oh, okay.
Oh, and sorry, I literally just forgot to unmute. But no, I agree with you completely. And like the year mark for me also was a big hit. Like, I still have imposter syndrome though. I still don't believe that I've made as many friends who I have. Like, I can't believe like there are like specific streamers that like I've been able to talk to, that I've been able to like literally just communicate with and connect with. And like, honestly, like for me, the point where like it really made it big was actually DreamHack Dallas last year. And I don't want to say made it big, because making it big is not necessarily the goal, and not really, because everybody's goal as a content creator is different in a world of content. And I keep saying the world of content, and I use it as an umbrella term, right? So that means like not just like you as a streamer, but the content that you create, whether it be cosplay, whether it be something that's just as consumable, whether it be just like a YouTube video, gaming content. Like, people forget, like, there's a million different avenues and paths of what you can do and how you can do it and why you want to do it. And it's something that you have to find out. And
there's so many of us too.
There's a million different people, and defining the right people as a viewer is still something that like, and I guess when I say right people, that's not what I mean, but it's finding the people that you vibe with.
Yeah, your tribe.
Exactly, your tribe. So like for me, I still have imposter syndrome. I can't believe I'm even in a position where I get to talk to creators every other day, and be able to learn from them and to be able to pick their minds and stuff like that. So like for me, that time where I really felt like people were starting to pay attention to me was when I was told from somebody that they were paying attention to me. And in my opinion, one of the biggest compliments that you can ever get as a streamer is someone saying, hey, I actually see what you're doing and I love what you're doing. The only other avenue of that, and the biggest what's it called, sign of respect among streamers, is when the streamer hosts out to you. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, but in DreamHack Dallas, I had Saskia come up to me. I was actually ready to go to Dallas and make it like my last streaming career thing and my last trip. I was just going to kind of hang it up because I have so much stuff going on in my like full-time career, because I work a full-time job in technology as well. I was going to hang it up, and Saskia kind of comes up to me and she's like, hey, I love the content you're putting forward. Not only do I love the content that you're putting forward, I'm actually paying attention to it, and I'm like genuinely consuming and watching it. And I was like, wait, holy shit. And then somebody else said something very, very similar to me, and I'm like, wait, holy shit, I'm actually making an impact. Like, people are actually like watching my stuff. And I'm like blown. My mind's completely blown, because I average like anywhere between like, my numbers are not like Queso or Kai, and that's not a comparison. That's just like where I just am not at that point. So it's interesting to see other people kind of join your lives, because you never know who's genuinely watching and consuming your content. And that's why I say, like, I still can't believe that I'm at this point where people have even told me that.
I love that the analogy of like imagine these people in the room with you, like
Mm-hmm.
like 10 people with you, 15, 20, 30, 50, like that's still an amazing number of people who are hanging out with you at one time. Like that's crazy. Um
Absolutely.
and then another thing that this kind of reminded me of was I don't remember. I think it's like like something Kevin Bacon related. It's like the degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're 7 people away from like knowing everyone in the entire world, and I keep finding that to be truer and truer, especially within the content space, just because we are constantly meeting each other, and I'm like, I've watched your content for forever, and like now we're having a conversation, and DreamHack is absolutely amazing for that because
Yes.
it gives an opportunity for people to like actually sit down, and your podcasts are great for this too because we get to sit down and like actually share information because we're all so busy either making or editing our content or like IRL things.
We wear so many
And
hats
so
as creators.
yes, and so it's a really wonderful and amazing opportunity just to get it's a luxury to sit down and like get to just talk like one-on-one as creators. We don't really get that affordance a lot of times.
It's
So it's
so
very invaluable.
it's such a cool experience, and like to be able to like I said this when I started the podcast. My first episode was with the Only Shady and Bad Bear Gamer. Two people who literally inspired me to start streaming in the first place. Bad Bear because of his energy, Shady because of his persona,
Mhm.
in how immersive they are in the Call of Duty scene. Also another person who inspired me to stream, whether she knows it or not, is Steffi Evans. Because I've watched Steffi come from literally nothing to everything,
Mhm.
and she's still the sky's the limit. Like for everyone I mentioned, the sky is still the limit. But
Mhm.
um, it's so cool to like remember why you started streaming in the first place. So is there a person that you look up to who inspires you that made you want to say, you know what, I can go live and I want to go live?
I think the list is very, very long.
Sure.
I think it's very long. I think we'd be here for a very long time.
I'm
I feel
down.
like
I
it
have
was
nothing to do
actually
tonight. We're good to go.
All right, well, let me get the list out. We're gonna start with the A's. I'm gonna run them off. We're gonna check the list twice. Um, no, I feel like I wasn't really one to like sit down and watch streams until I started streaming. I would watch it like here or there, or I would have like a friend or two that would get into it, and I would like moderate their streams. But other than that, I mainly was like doing YouTube.
hmm I'm still
I
learning YouTube. I have no idea how that
Yeah,
platform works, and like
I'm
I'm
like coming
I'm
back to
trying.
YouTube at this point. Like I'm doing it backwards. So I'm coming back to YouTube now.
hmm
But yeah, my partner, he started streaming like forever ago, and I was like moderating, and I was like, this is super fun. And then he got out of it. He's been incredibly helpful, just like making sure I'm like up to date with like the tech and stuff, and making sure things run, and teaching me like what different things mean. And then just the friends that I've made along the way, like in different communities. Like I have friends that inspire me with like the art community because I stream a lot of art, people within the cosplay community as well, and then people within like certain game niches too. So I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of friends within the different pockets of the creator space, and I cherish and love them each so very much because I don't know if they realize how inspirational they are and how much just I love their content and how much they inspire me to just keep going. We kind of mentioned this earlier, like the space, just being a content creator or making content can be very isolating because a lot
hmm
of times we're kind of just talking to a camera. We're in our rooms alone. There's not a lot of like face to face or one to one contact unless you're incredibly lucky and you kind of like live with everybody that you're making content with. That's not always the case for a lot of us. And sometimes you can get in the cycle of like that imposter syndrome of like, am I good enough? Am I making content people enjoy? Like, can I do this? Like, am I, you know, on the right track? And so getting the chance to like talk to people within different specs of the community is very enlightening. And you learn very quickly that everybody has this feeling of imposter syndrome. So we're all in it together. Which is really amazing that we get to kind of bounce ideas off of each other and share that love essentially.
Absolutely. And like the world of content is such an incredible place because the more I watch people, the more I realize, and people are just people. And
Mhm.
people are freaking awesome. And we
Yes.
love people, and that's kind of why we put ourselves in the world of content. And not only do we want to like do positive things and create a positive community and create a positive space, and like you meet people throughout like the time frame of like being a creator, but like everybody has their own things to her. Also, Serena's in the chat, and I love Serena. Speaking of which,
Oh, I love
but
her.
it's like having like being able to understand that in the world of content, we are all people trying to be the
Mhm.
best people that we can possibly be, and that's why like every single podcast episode I ever say, we say that there's 95% of content creation is introspective work,
Mhm.
because we always have to look back at our content and figure out, you know what, this is something we want to improve. This is something I see that may have lost viewers, and like, is there something that you look at when looking at your own content that might be like that ticket?
I think for me, I get so absorbed in sometimes like what I'm doing, and part of that is just the way that I'm wired with the ADHD and everything. I also say that I have a resting bitch face sometimes, so I've tried
I've
really
not
hard to
seen
like.
that yet. I've not seen that yet.
I've I've
I've
tried
seen
really
all
hard.
smiles and positivity from you.
I've tried really hard to work on it because like if I get hyper focused, I'm just like focused in. Um,
I
and I'm
feel
like,
that.
oh, okay, I look scary. I should look less scary.
I have an
I've been
ADHD
trying
face, so like I'll be like paying close attention, and then oh look, a squirrel.
exactly. You understand me. You get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just making sure like I'm keeping track of different things too, because streaming, you're going 90 to nothing. You're talking what you're saying, and then you're thinking about what you're going to say ahead and how it connects. And then you've got like if you're playing a game, you've got that, and then you're responding to chat and all these different things. And then somebody triggers something, and then you've got to do something. And so like constantly like remembering what I've got to do. I'm always getting reminded, hey Vix, you forgot to do. Oh yeah, that's right. Let me do that. So it's like, oh yeah, that's right.
But that's the
I
beauty
don't
of
know.
being human, is like
Mhm.
you have all these things that like you're putting together, and everybody's mind works in beautiful and
Yeah.
mysterious ways. And like it's why like 90% of the conversations that I have on a podcast go full circle and come back around to something, because it's
Mhm.
like it's really cool to just watch people be genuinely themselves, and to
Mhm.
put them in a position, even like this conversation, where I can just get to know people just by talking. And it honestly, that conversation reminded me with the ADHD thing that I still need to make my oh look, a squirrel command in StreamerBot.
Yes, do it.
hmm So like
Yeah.
literally, my game plan for that, because I thought it was really funny, was going to StreamerBot, and anytime like I forget something, because I forget a lot of things in the process of
Mhm.
like even the podcast, someone will type squirrel, and then they'll see a squirrel run across the stream, and I'll be like, oh look, a squirrel.
Oh, look, a squirrel. The squirrel's back.
The
Look
squirrel's
at him.
back.
I would want to name him, then I'd forget the name. It's a whole thing.
It would be a whole
Like
fun thing.
I'm bad with passwords, and so like I play a lot of Final Fantasy, and so I have to log in every time.
hmm
And I've changed my password so many times because I keep forgetting what it is.
That's
And
not a
then
bad
I
thing though, because at least like you're having a revolving door.
That's right, exactly. I always try
hmm
with like good luck hackers because I don't even know my stuff. You're never getting in. I can't even get in now. Uh
As
I
someone who
like that
works in
you
cybersecurity, I love that.
yay, ADHD for the win.
hmm
I love that you mentioned like talking like people are just human, people are just people. I think that's so true. And sometimes, like, as a viewer, you can forget sometimes that, like, these are real people and they have lives. And I love getting to, like, open up, like, the curtain kind of
Yeah,
behind the scenes of, like, talking about my experiences, like, with cons and, like, what goes into, like, the business side of things or with Artist Alley and also just, like, my own life. Like, I love that I don't have to be this like perfect kind of just streaming robot and I can sit down and talk. I'm like, look, I'm having a rough time. Certain things are going on. Sometimes I can talk about it, sometimes you can't. Or like I can talk about like ADHD, for example. Like I got reassessed last summer, and it was the best thing ever. But I got to like open up and talk about that with my community, and everybody else got to kind of like talk about their experiences, and it was like very like eye-opening and welcoming, and I think it helped you remember that, you know, you aren't alone and other people are there, and kind of drives forward that like community aspect, which I think is really important nowadays, especially just being online and on the interwebs. And I've always said, like, if I can just leave this world and make it like a little bit better than I found it, I think then I've done good
You
in
know,
my
that's my
life. So
mantra. That's my life mantra. In
it's
every
such a good
situation,
one.
like my life mantra is in every situation, no matter who I meet, no matter what I do, I want to leave it or her or it or them in a better position than when I
Mhm.
found it.
Yeah.
You have to. Because for me, it's if I make one person smile, then I've done my job as a creator.
Right.
And that's all I care about. I stream to 0 people from time to time. I stream to 500 people from time to time. Those numbers go anywhere in between, and like it is one of the coolest things as a creator. You never know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Like I was playing Lockdown Protocol, and then I ended up on Call of Duty, and then I ended up on Marvel Rivals. Like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I started off with like cozy Animal Crossing, Minecraft, and then I was a variety streamer, so I was playing nothing but horror games for a
I
while.
couldn't do that. I don't like
Yeah,
horror games.
I do it every now and then. I'm a
Hmm.
big baby, and so now I'm more like the RPG story base. So I feel like I'm in a comfortable place now. But yeah, like you kind of like you find your pathway. You never know where you're gonna end up.
And that's the beauty of being a content creator is like every single journey is completely different. Some people will post one video and then gain 1 million followers. By
Mhm.
some people will say hack Tua and then gain 1 trillion followers too. Um, but at the same, or like you could take the long route where like you post
Mhm.
and you get 2 views, and you get 4 views, then you get 8 views, then you get 20 views, and like you're stagnant for a while, and then you continue to grow. Everybody's journey is completely different, and you can't really
Mhm.
pay attention to the numbers. Whenever it's my advice to anybody posting content is post the content that you want,
Mhm.
do the content that you want, and the right people will find you when the time is right. I'm a
Mhm.
huge person in regards to organic growth.
I love the kind of circling back, like I love the like you find your people, your tribe, the people who you vibe with the most. I think that's
Exactly.
incredibly important to find. And then, you know, like keep in mind like you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I think that's a hard lesson to learn, especially if you're a people pleaser, is that or coming to terms with the fact that like the content you make is not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. Like there's content for everybody, and you might not be what I like, or I might not be like what you like, and that's okay. And
And
I
it's
think that's hard, especially like starting out.
I agree with you because like not everybody likes Call of Duty, and I'm a Call of Duty streamer, and the
Mhm.
majority of my content is Call of Duty. A lot of people will come hang out for me. Like they'll come, they'll hang out, they'll talk to me, and they'll say like, "Yo, like Perk, my day's been great. I hope you've been doing well," and stuff like that. And then they won't really pay attention because they don't like COD, but they'll show
Mhm.
up when I do like different games like Among Us or
Mhm.
RV There Yet or like whatever the game is. It's like everybody's content and situation is completely different, and like not everyone's content is for everyone. One of the
Mhm.
biggest stories that I could talk about with that is Jack Doherty makes a bunch of content, but his content's not for me.
Mhm.
I don't like rage bait content, but that's my own personal opinion. So I don't
Mhm.
consume his content, but
Hey,
1 million other people do. So the world of content is a vast place.
it
So
is.
speaking of that, do you
Mhm.
remember your first piece of content, and what would you tell that version of yourself?
Oh God. I don't know. I don't even know if I remember what was my first piece of content. Oh no, I do remember.
I remember mine, and you'll laugh.
I remember mine now
Mhm.
only because it does not exist. I've wiped it from the face of the internet. It's not there. And if you can find it, please send it to me because I don't have it anymore. But this is like right whenever I was starting out like cosplaying. It was like one of my first cosplays. I had just made like my Instagram account. It was like I had like 5 followers. It was in the baby steps. I decided that I was gonna dye my hair for this cosplay. It was Misaka from Attack on Titan. It was like right around the same length or whatever, and I was just gonna dye my hair jet black. Right? It was like a chestnutty brown, and I was like, I'm gonna dye it. So I bought some box dye and dyed my hair black for this cosplay. And it like the weather was bad. It looked flat and everything. I was like, I'm gonna post this. And then later, like I wiped it like maybe 2 years or so later. But I was like, girl, please don't ever do that. Don't ever dye your hair just for one cosplay because I did not like it. I was not happy. I was like, why? Why did it just buy a wig at that point, girl? I was like Amazon. It was like $5 on Amazon back then. So that's what I would
how
say.
expensive wigs have become now.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Is it
So
500 now?
God, it can be, yeah, if you
Mhm.
commission them for sure. For that, yes, I would say just maybe stop and think. Like,
My first piece of content that I ever created, I actually have two. I could start from my
mhm,
like OG, like back when I was on Scout and was streaming for the first time on my cell phone only, or I could talk about like the emergence of me as a COD streamer. And the first Call of Duty video I posted was me on Rebirth Island, and it was a super blurry. I think I didn't really know
mhm,
how to edit, and it was at 420p or something like that, something awful. And it was me running up the stairs in the middle of prison, in a large part of prison, and this guy runs down the stairs, and the game was so laggy that it looked like there were two of them. So I used the Naruto sound, and I was like, Kakebenshi no Jutsu, and then he and
yes.
it was so bad. It was the worst thing ever. And now I'm making videos where it's like it has clean transition, using LUTs,
Mhm,
using OEDs, crisp edits, clean transitions, and like stuff that like from where I was to where I'm at
mhm.
is such an incredible thing, and you can't forget that because every day is a learning experience. You learn something from everybody.
But that's that growth again, right? That you can't just
Yes.
do overnight. You kind of have to go through that process of like slowly learning these skills or practicing these skills, which are
Hmm.
great. So yeah, but yeah, my first set of like TikToks, yeah, night and day for sure.
But that's the whole thing is like when you want to be a content creator, if you want to be a content creator, just post it.
Hmm.
No one is going to turn around and say your videos suck. Do you know what they're going to say? I'm proud of you for posting, and why don't you try doing this, and this might help.
Hmm.
Because it was actually me having a conversation with Josh Barracks. I don't know if anybody knows who Joshua Barracks is. But Joshua Barracks was a former Call of Duty streamer, was a bigger Call of Duty streamer, and now he makes full-time content for TikTok on TikTok and makes a ton of money from it. Um, he actually said, "Hey," and these are still the recording settings that I used today in OBS. He's like, "I noticed that your recordings are super low quality. Why don't you try recording like this? Because when you record, that directly affects your download speed based on your internet. But when you stream, that's directly influenced on your upload speed." And when he taught me that, the entire door opened.
Hmm.
Because now I have 1,000 down and like 40 up, so I could stream to two different platforms now. Well, actually,
Hmm.
technically three, if I wanted to.
Hmm.
Um, but my download speed, I'm now recording at 55,000 CBR. That's only 55 megs of that 1,000 download speed, and I have the rest dedicated to the game. And now I have super high quality content, 4K content. Everything's
Hmm.
super clear, super Gucci, and like things just keep growing and are constantly improving from a day to day basis.
But it took somebody like being kind too, and like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let me give you this advice. Let me help a fellow creator out.
Because
So
networking, and that's a
right.
huge part of growth as a creator, is from
Hmm.
being able to create yourself from a professional manner, from a business perspective.
Hmm.
And I have a business degree. I also have a engineering degree, but that type of thing is extremely critical to be able to talk to the right people. I wouldn't have met you unless I networked and found you.
Right, exactly.
So
I think that's incredibly important to be able to like utilize those skills.
So what is that line between professionalism and being your goofy authentic self in the streaming world?
I
Because
think
I know a lot of people like question that when they're starting content.
right, yeah, I think it comes down to boundaries. I think it's good early on to establish like how much of your content is going to be a persona and how
Mm-hmm.
much of it is going to be like you as a person. Like how much are you going to put like your true self into that content? And I feel like you need to do that very early on because once you put certain things out there, it's the internet, you can't really take it back, especially with like yourself. And personal information, obviously, right? Like safety is always going to be number one
Yes.
priority that you have to think about just this day and age. Um, but like some people stream completely or make content completely under a persona and it works totally fine. Some people that's just not their vibe. My biggest thing is create those boundaries of things that you are okay sharing with the internet or complete strangers seeing, and make sure that there are hard lines of this we will not entertain, we cannot talk about this does not get shared. I think it's really important to have that conversation too with people that you know, especially your family members. Like my entire family knows I make content. They know if they're interacting with my stuff online that they can't say certain things. Just because like I want to keep everybody safe because you never know, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so I've made those boundaries super clear from the get-go. And then I was totally fine wanting to share personal information or like personal stories, but there are certain things that, you know, I withhold, of course, mainly for safety reasons because you have to. And I make that super apparent and clear within my community that there are certain lines not to be crossed that like can't share or information that like I'm not willing to give out. Things like that obviously are like you need to establish that so early on. Otherwise, it leads into a huge slippery slope, like because then you get into situations or conversations, and then you know it could be too late. You've already like put some information out there.
The safety aspect that you're bringing up is extremely important. And like establishing your boundaries from the get-go of what type of creator do you want to be? Do you
Mhm.
want to fully indulge in that fine line of being a creator? Do you want to do like 18 plus content? Do you want to do
Mhm.
just strategic content? Like you have to create the boundaries and identify what you want to do initially and create those fine lines for yourself, or
Mhm.
else you could be in a very interesting world. It's like everybody forgets that this is the online world, and everything that you say,
Mhm.
everything that you do, everything how you interact and how you hold yourself is going to be on the internet forever.
Yeah.
And being on the internet is just such a amazing place, but could be the scariest place if you do
Mhm.
things wrong. Like
Yeah.
shoot, I'm in COD lobbies. People say the N word at me
Yeah.
multiple times, and like eventually they get called out and like posted on the
Included.
internet, and then they end up losing their jobs or losing
Mhm.
their stuff because like they're being racist and bigoted, and we don't like that stuff. Like
Mhm.
I call it the isms. We try to avoid the isms as much as we can.
Mhm.
And like my style of content that I involved and flowed into is about creating an educational space for people.
Mhm.
And it's content that everybody, creators, non-creators, viewers, that everybody can consume. And that's my goal as a creator, whether it be from me playing Call of Duty to whether me doing like other aspects too. So that being said, what helped you set those boundaries and overcome the fear of being seen and judged online? Because I know this is a big thing the new creators worry about.
Such a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a twofold. I think the biggest thing is I was already consuming a lot of content. I'm chronically always online anyways. But I was consuming a lot of content, and I had certain creators that I was like, oh, I kind of want to emulate the style, or who really inspired me. So I kind of looked to them to see like what were they doing? Would I be okay following exactly in that? What would I not be okay with? I think my family definitely helped me set those boundaries as well. I personally am just a very private person. I really like separating like my content life from my personal life. I'll share as much as I'm like able to, that I
Sure.
feel safe to share. But there are a lot of certain things that I'm like, not everything needs to be shared online. I want to be able to like have like my own, private moments and things that like are just for me or just for me and my family. So I think that's super important to establish very early on. And as far as getting over the like, I guess being afraid to be cringe, I think just go for it. Like to be cringe is to be free. Like there are
Exactly.
videos and I've got clips and stuff. Because like I'm in the voice acting scene, so like I've got videos of me doing like ooh woos and ada left. I don't care anymore. I can't be faced.
I,
I feel
but
like
cringe is
you
okay. Cringe is fun.
yeah
It's like
like
cringe
it
sets you
get it
free.
gets yeah it gets views.
I
It
had
gets
a boob
engagement.
song for all sorts shits and giggles, like
Exactly. Like it like you have to kind of thinking of it like on a business like social media aspect, like it gets engagement, right? There's gonna be certain people who are like, oh, this is like cool, and then other people who are gonna hate on it regardless of what it is. I think as long as you're having a fun time, I think it's also important never to take yourself too seriously, because then you
bingo.
kind of zap all the fun out of it anyways. So I think that's the big thing, is just do it. I
Having
nothing's that
fun.
serious. Yeah,
Having
just
fun.
just go
That's
for it.
it's
It's not that
such
big of a deal.
it's such a big thing that like you're saying. And like having fun in a world of content is something that you have to learn how to do. It's like when
Mhm.
I first started content, one thing I wish I told myself is just let yourself be yourself.
Mhm.
Just have fun. It's your own journey. Things are gonna change. Things are gonna
Yeah.
happen. You never know who's gonna join. Like I like just looking at my kick chat right now. How the hell do I have kick partners coming in and out of my chat? It's like I adore the hell out of everybody who's like who comes in and out and shows themselves and creates that things. Like
Mhm.
I didn't expect to even be at that point. I didn't even expect to make a video and get a view. I just expected to post a video and make people laugh because I thought it would be
Mhm.
funny. But like one thing as a creator that I wish I knew when I first started creating is always remember why you first started streaming in the first place.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
what would be that thing for you that you would tell yourself as a new creator? What's one thing you
I
wish you
think
knew?
oh, I wish I knew a lot of stuff when I
Mhm.
first started. Um, I wish I knew how difficult it was gonna be, right? That
Mhm.
like nothing was gonna come easy. How much like self-learning you would have to do. Um, I think I wish someone had told me just to, not take yourself so seriously. Because I think I very especially, like, starting off, like, that first month or 2, I took everything super seriously, and it was zapping all the fun out of it, and I was like, "Okay, I need to step up back a little bit and, like, reevaluate." I'm like, "Why am I doing this? Alright, community, I miss community, I wanna interact with people, I wanna, like, have that community aspect." So I was like, "Okay, that's the reason, that's the why that we're doing this, for people." Um, I think for cosplay, I think I had those people that told me like just start slow. So that I was incredibly grateful for that. So that was very eye-opening. And I think that helped me progress the way that I did, was I had a good foundation, and good people behind me and around me. I think for just content in general, I wish someone had told me to be prepared for how isolating it can feel at times, and for myself to be more guarded very early on, because there are people out there who don't have your best interest at heart and
Yes.
either just want to use you for what you can get them, whether that's connections or content or money or whatever, and surround yourself with like kind of I call them my inner circle, like people who will have your back, who no matter what are going to be there for you, who you can bounce ideas off of, and who understand the space too. Because I could talk about the stuff with like my friends that don't make content, and they give amazing advice, but they don't always get it, you know?
Right. And that's a huge thing too, is like having those conversations with your friends versus having those conversations with the people who understand the industry. They're two entirely different styles of conversations. Like having the conversations with your friends, they're gonna say like, well, wouldn't it be funny if you called somebody a weird term, and be like,
Yeah.
well, sure, but how would the public view that? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, but that,
Or is
and
that
that's-
within my character? Yeah.
yeah, is that within my character? It's like, and like hit the nail on the head here, because there are a lot of people who like to utilize people for their own styles of content, and like it's something that as you grow, as you network, and as you define your brand as a creator, you learn to see. And for me, my stuff is about mutually beneficial collaborations. Like I wanted to bring you on a podcast because you have an amazing journey that you could share, and we could definitely help inspire aspiring creators. And at the same point, it's like you have that story. You've been around the industry for a long time, and people respect you, and you have your own community. And there's so many different avenues of what to take and like how to be able to do things. And like the sad truth of content, and the sad truth of the sad truth of content is like everything is completely different, and like no journey is ever going to be the same. No one's just going to rapidly grow, and it takes a lot of luck, but it also takes a ton of skill. And people immediately equate and say, oh no, it's all luck. No, it takes a lot of luck, but it takes a ton
of skill and
ton
hard
of
work.
skill. Yeah. Like you can listen to some of the content creators that'll go out there and say, hey, be consistent, make a schedule. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But there's so much more. Realistically, in order to grow, and to stay motivated through the growth process, you just have to allow yourself the ability to indulge your passion. And being passionate and showcasing your passion is going to literally be the difference maker of everything that you do. Like, if you make a piece of content and you're not happy about it and you don't like it, it's going to be like, meh.
Yeah.
But if you make that piece of content and you're like, holy shit, this snipe was the greatest thing ever. I'm going to show you why it was the greatest thing ever. Then people are going to be like, whoa, that was the greatest thing ever.
Greatest thing ever. Yeah.
Right? Mentality.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, mentality. And like, so we both know that the world of content is a slow growth phase. Nothing is easy. Everything is earned. How do you stay motivated during that?
Oh, I I have a half serious answer, and then I have an actual serious answer. My half serious answer is spite. Is just doing everything out of spite. They're like, oh yeah, you bet I can't watch me.
Hell yeah, though.
So
That's no, hold on. That's fucking awesome. Because like that mentality is like, yeah, you think I can't do it? Well, watch this, bitch. I got you.
yeah, a spite for a lot of it. The other part is, I think I understand burnout really,
Yes.
really easy and well. I talk about this occasionally, but like I have a master's degree in history, and I went straight in and like finished everything. And so like by the time I was so burnt out with everything. And then I knew that, like, especially with cosplay too, you can get so burnt out with cosplay and just crafting and con after con after con. So finding those passion projects or things that like you enjoy are so important. I use this or utilize this more with like art and Artist Alley stuff, is like having something long term that I can just always go back to, and like, okay, what is gonna bring back the joy? Nobody else is probably gonna enjoy this but me, and that's important. Is as long as I'm enjoying this, that's gonna revitalize you. That's gonna make you
Yes.
want to do. It's gonna bring back that spark because if you burn out, it takes years to recover from that. Um,
And people
and
burn out
it's
a lot in this
hard.
space.
Yeah, they really do because it's can be such a grind sometimes.
Oh yeah, and like so doing the grind of being a content creator on top of having a full-time job and a secondary job,
Mhm.
and that's what I do. It's like people
Yeah.
are like, "Wait, I haven't seen you post in a while. Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I promise you,
I've
I'm
just
fine."
taken a step back so I don't burn out. Yeah.
I'm just trying to recondition myself. Like, well, for example, I took 3 weeks off after DreamHack. I didn't
Mhm.
post. I mean, granted, I had stuff going on in my personal life. And Papa Perk went through surgery for cancer, and I've
Mhm.
been his caretaker, and I've been helping him. And like, I still have been able to network, make time for podcasts, to schedule podcasts, and have
Mhm.
the time to do that type of stuff, and reach Prestige 4 in Call of Duty. Yeah, let's go. I'm a badass. Um, but
There you go.
it's like, but my content that I was posting suffered, and I posted
Mhm.
one of my first videos today. I'm actually
Mhm.
working on 40 straight videos for both channels, my podcast channel and my Call
Yeah.
of Duty channel, so that it will
Yeet.
be consistent, and then people will be like, "Oh yeah, this person's posting a lot." Even though I'm
Mhm.
not really posting a lot, I'm posting every 3 days, but I have 40 videos lined up. But
Mhm.
it's
Oh,
stuff like,
bashing.
yes, it's
Yeah.
organization, scheduling, and like when you everybody's schedule is so crazy, and like you can't necessarily create one, but you kind of have to stick to one.
Mhm.
So what do you
Yeah.
do to allow yourself to put every piece together?
That's such a hard one because the ADHD wants me to not,
Look,
but
there's
I
a
I
squirrel.
crave. Weird. But
It's
I crave
Fred.
it. I do really well with like structure and schedules. And so I found a schedule, at least a streaming schedule that worked really well with me. And so I try to stick with that. Sometimes it gets a little wonky because like I'm out on Fridays for like cons and stuff, but
Hmm.
otherwise, like I'm trying to work on like keeping them posted. I might not always post it, especially if it's like a really busy season, if I'm gone away for a lot of shows. Otherwise, like your community learns that schedule, and so they're gonna be there for that schedule. The secondary thing is I really like planners. I've always
W
been a
planners.
big planner person. I actually have let me see if I can pick it up without all of the pages falling out because I
Oh, that's
had
nuts.
things. I have a planner right here.
You are so
So
I
I
have
literally was
everything online.
I just have to be.
I
I
have
I
everything
like it
online.
physical. I need it physical and then I transfer it to online because it helps with just me moving everywhere, but I love the tactile feel of like writing it down, I guess.
Hey, that's an incredible skill on its own, just to be able to have. And like a lot of people, like I kid you not, I met somebody who forgot how to write. So
No, really?
I'm serious. He literally said,
Oh, no,
I used to
no.
write in elementary school, and now I don't ever write anymore because all I do is type, and I can't really write anything down."
You've unlocked a new fear for me.
I know,
I'm
right?
so
It's
scared now.
crazy. It has happened, and it's crazy. But
Oh, no.
creating a schedule is something that we have to do because consistency
Mhm,
is what allows people to be able to grow.
mhm,
There's one thing that I've noticed when it comes to any gaming organization, not just Ghost, but like any gaming org, is the schedules that these creators create, the stuff that they put themselves through. Watching the people go
mhm,
through the Rising Stars competition within Luminosity, which is a sore
mhm,
subject, but I mean, like watching the stuff that they do, and like all of these creators put together these elaborate schedules, bust their ass, like
mhm,
kick ass to get the content out, like Shorty Pie, Wreck Dictator, like the only shady, like the names like just go on and on, like watching
mhm.
them put their whole schedule into use and allowing themselves still to be there for the community. It takes a team, it takes a tribe.
Yeah, sometimes it does. It's very helpful if you have those community members who just love the content so much, and you will find these people who just wanna help. They just wanna help you do things like if they want to help you make clips or if they want to help edit things or if they want to make or help design a schedule for you. Like some people just want to like help and do things. I'd feed that fuel for sure, because sometimes it does kind of takes a village, and if you don't necessarily have that, that's okay. Just work within the time frame that you do have, um, especially if you're working a job or two, work within the free space that you do have. One,
Mhm.
make sure that you carve out space for yourself because that's going to help keep you from burning out. And then schedule things, for your stream if you're streaming, or how are you going to make the content, and then batch posting is so important. I love it.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing, is just sitting down, because that is how my brain works. I can sit down and I was like, I'll spend an entire day and I'll edit all day long, but I've done an entire month's worth of content in that like one day, and I'm like, I don't have to touch it until next month.
See, I have to do the 2-week thing where because Call of Duty is ever evolving and there's new seasons and new different things and everything changes, where I will give like 7 videos. I'll edit 7 videos, and 6 of them you're never going to see. Because I have to go through that. And speaking of which, sometimes you even post and then those never get pushed. So how do you deal with the pressure from the algorithms, from the trends, and from the expectations of posting? Because people
I feel
forget
like
this
I
is a
have
huge part.
that's true. I feel like I have, I don't know. Part of me, I have some certifications in social media management, so I kind of understand like the base level of algorithms and SEO and stuff like that. But on the second, sometimes they just, that post didn't happen. No one saw it. Delete it, repost it. Just it didn't find the audience it needed. All right, go repost it until it does find the
So
audience.
one
it
thing I
needs.
will say on that though is TikTok, that doesn't work. Because TikTok they're
No.
gonna flag it.
Yeah,
YouTube,
don't do
yes.
it on TikTok.
Yeah,
YouTube,
don't do that
yes.
on
TikTok,
TikTok.
no.
If it-
TikTok's they're too smart about it.
If it doesn't, well, they are and they aren't. Like I see people
Yeah.
posting Simpsons videos all the time, and I'm just like, get off
Right,
my
yeah.
page! I don't want to watch
Why?
you.
But when it comes to you, you're like, why? Yeah.
It's like I want to
No.
watch Call of Duty creators. I want to watch people who are passionate about what they do. I want to see, like, when I always look at social media, like I'm a viewer because I am a viewer, but I'm also somebody who creates. Because the content that I create, I want to give to the viewer. So is this content that I would like as a viewer? And if it is, then those people are going to see it and they're going to be like, yo, this dude's pretty cool. And then they're going to be like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll go check out his Twitch. And then they'll be like, yo, this dude kind of is weird, but I love it. And then they'll drop me a follow or drop me a sub.
Right.
And that's on them. No pressure. And like,
that was a hard lesson early on. Because very early on, I just wanted to post everything.
I still do.
I do sometimes, but like a lot of it was like inside jokes that like no one else is gonna get, and that doesn't always translate right to like conversions or whatever. So I've kind of moved more away from that. I'll like those clips exist, but like I might not post them anywhere. Those are just for like me and us.
Like everybody knows that we have Botrix's banned because Botrix banned everybody in my chat at one point, and like. Like, that's an inside joke. No one's going to get it. But you know what? I did. So, Serena can actually talk on this. It was kind of funny. She did a TwitchCon FOMO raid train party, right? And everybody.
Yes.
So, everyone came into my chat from the raid. And it was. Botrix had a no capitalization thing on. And everything was capitalized. And it banned everybody. They were spamming the raid's message. Banned, 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 banned.
Oh no.
And everybody got banned, and I had to go through and unban and untime out everybody.
No, what a nightmare.
So funny. It was so hilarious, but it's an inside joke, and now everybody knows that Botrix is banned. And
Botrix is banned.
But that content is only going to resonate for the people who were there at the time.
Right.
It's not going to resonate to the random viewer. So,
no.
But
you have to balance that.
Absolutely. And like balancing what our content is for, who is indulging in our content, who is going to be consuming our content. That's something that we kind of have to think about. And it goes back to the introspective work. We have so many hats as a creator. We're an audio engineer, video editors, social media marketers, network professionals. And I don't mean networking as in like internet, but we do have to keep in mind what internet service we use and
Mhm.
understand basics
Yeah.
of technology and how to monitor our computers and protect ourselves. There's a lot that we have to do.
I had someone tell me very early on, and it was such good advice. It was think of all the different jobs that go into putting a show or like a live show on television. You're doing all of that at once, and you're a one person. Like you're a one person show. Like you are the sound guy, you're the light guy, like you're the producer, like you're all of that while you're live. And so yeah, there are a lot of hats that go into that, and then the behind the scenes too of like your scheduling, your filming content, etc. So yeah, you
Hmm.
have to wear so many hats all at once, and it can be exhausting.
Doesn't it feel good though, from your
It
perspective,
does.
to actually be on like, oh, I can just give content instead of actually being uber focused on like the production aspect of it for
Yeah, it's
once?
really nice actually. I was like, no, I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna be here.
And that's my goal. Like, I want people who have any creators eventually come on a podcast. My goal is for them to be in that relaxed state so that we can have these conversations. I go at 90 million miles a minute. That is who I am. It's what I do. I never stop. When I sleep, I'm still thinking. I'm sorry. It's just who I
Mhm.
am. I have lucid dreams, but it's
The best.
I have the ability to work a million different things, and I never do relax. I've actually had somebody invite me on their
Mhm.
podcast, and I was sweating. And the reason why I was sweating is because I had to stop. I'm like, "Do you want me to do this?" And then they're like, "No, you don't
Yeah.
need to." I'm like,
No.
"Shit." And I'm like, because it's a whole different mentality. I love being the
Mhm.
host. I love being the producer. I
Yeah.
love being the editor. And I'm also my own cybersecurity person. Carbon will probably be like, "Yeah, he's badass for that." And it's like I do a lot of stuff for that. But so, how important is it to build a community versus getting the views? And I know I
I
wanted to
think it's
change that, but
yeah, I think it's number 1 for me. I think the community aspect of it, for me, that's why I started. So for me, that's no question, without a doubt, number 1 for me. Like the views are nice. It just business speaking, like analytics will get you like brand deals and this and that and stuff, right? Things that will like put money on the table. But the community aspect, like you're a real person, there are real people consuming your contact content. You're influencing and you're touching like people's lives, like real humans. I think that's very important to like never lose track of or lose glimpse of. And no matter what you go through, no matter what you experience, community and having those people that like vibe with your stuff and you can like interact with, I think that's important because they're gonna be there no matter what, right? Like
I
if
couldn't
I
agree
am
more.
like, yeah, if I have to take a week off, um, then I think I can speak to majority of us, especially streamers. We get like those kind of like butterflies when you go back to stream. Like, did they all forget about me? Like, am I still? But like, they're all very excited to have you back. I think the community aspect is really, really important. And I feel like that's definitely going to be always number 1 for me.
I couldn't agree more. For me, it's something that I'm still trying to build.
Hmm.
But I also don't want to say trying to build, because if you try to build it, it's never going to be built because you're going to try too hard and people are going to be like, eh. But if you don't,
Build it and then they will come.
yeah, it's like build it. Like what before? So going into how you even build a community is one of the most
Mhm.
interesting questions that I have for you and for myself. But the people forget that the first step in building a community is establishing your own interpersonal self first, because you
Mhm.
have to be happy, you have to be approachable. And if you're
Mhm.
not happy and approachable, people will still show up, but they may not show up all the time. But
Mhm.
being able to put on the show that you're trying to put on, the product that you're trying to put out, the content that you're trying to put out is massive when it comes to the creating of content. So,
Mhm.
what is it, this step for you? What are those steps to build a community? How does one even try to do that?
I think it For me, I think the important part is slowly and carefully. I've like, as nice as it would be to, blow up tonight, I don't think I would be happy in the long run, because
Mm-hmm.
in those instances, you don't get to choose your community chooses you. And as a result, you don't get to weed out those bad actors, right? You don't get
Yes.
to weed out the people that aren't there for the right reasons, aren't going to be helpful or conducive, or they're harmful to, well, everybody's well-being, etc. I think starting it slowly and very personably, uh, is kind of the stepping stones essentially there.
Honestly, I agree, because like there are people, whether you realize it or not, who are for some weird reason out to get you. I can't explain it. I don't know
Mhm.
what's going through their heads, but like some people will go into your community, they'll play the nice guy, they'll play like they'll play the fool
Mhm.
and allow you to be that fool temporarily. It's like it's it's difficult to find, but when you find them, you will know. And
Mhm.
you as a community have to, or you as a streamer have to be cognizant of how they will affect your community. And if
Mhm.
you, when you let one of those longtime community members go from your community because they turn into one of those bad apples,
Yeah.
it's kind of how you handle that moving forward.
Mhm.
Um, because when you do remove someone like that from your community, it's possible you might move more members at that point in time. But
Mhm.
it's also not something that you can control, because you don't want to put them under the bus either. It's a catch-22 situation that you kind of have to learn out as like you grow as a streamer. But that's kind of
Mhm.
going into some of the more advanced community management measures, and
Right.
but it's a whole different thing. But
Mhm.
I agree with you. Like, allowing yourself to put yourself out there to the right people is huge. And like it's a big stepping stone on how to build a community.
Mhm.
So,
I think,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, if I can add something really quickly, I think it's also important. Um, like, I don't know, I've always felt like the thing that you said earlier is that people are just people. Like, I've always felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I also I view it the other way around, right? Like, people who are consuming my content, or like, viewers that are in chat, like, they're people too.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that, like, are going on in their lives. So occasionally I feel like I've gotten really good about, like, kind of redirecting this mentality or this behavior. Not that it's bad, but like, I so people will come in and they're like, "I'm so sorry I haven't been here for like what." That's good. That's fine. Like, you had things going on. Thank you so much for being here. I'm happy to see you. You do not need to apologize at all. But hey, I'm glad that you're here. So like, the apology, like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," or like, "Hey, I can't do." I was like, "That's cool. It's fine. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. Things are going on in your life too." Like, yeah, I love that you decided to spend your time with me. That's amazing. But don't ever feel like you ever have to apologize
See,
for having to take time for yourself.
my mentality to that is there are a million different streamers out there. There are a
Mhm.
million different people that you could watch. There are millions and millions of different people that do different styles of content, that do different things. But
Mhm.
for some weird reason, all you viewer fuckers out there are choosing me over all these other fucking people. What the fuck is wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. But it's
We thank you. Thank you for being here.
we appreciate it, and like we
Mhm.
really genuinely appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And we can't say that enough. When you
Mhm.
choose us over like going to view another person who's live, it means the absolute world. And I
Time is
have that
so
mentality.
valuable.
It is
Yeah.
so valuable. Like, even cuddles, like you coming in here and when you're at your grandparents' house, and even just saying hi and like making yourself known and being around, it genuinely means the world to me. Seeing Carbon pop in, seeing Sabrina pop in. I don't know who's still in chat, but seeing the
Mhm.
people who actually take the time out of their days to join my streams, whatever they
Mhm.
are, it's so incredibly appreciated, because there's so many different people out there.
Right.
And I know we wanted to talk a lot about cosplay, but we've gotten on a whole different
That's totally
thing.
fine.
So
Totally fine.
I want to slowly switch gears or transition into What is the most challenging part of cosplay that people outside of cosplay don't realize?
Hmm. That they don't realize?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I would say okay, I have two answers.
Sure.
One, I feel like they probably already know, but if you aren't in the cosplay community, it's the fact that, and with any community, um, toxicness, right? The fact that it can be so prone to those bad actors, and I feel like cosplay within the last decade has done a really decent job. We're not perfect by any means, but we're getting better as a community of calling out those people who are like, "Oh, so and so did this better." That doesn't help anyone. No one cares. Like, please don't ever come up to me and say, "Oh my god, your cosplay looks way better than X cos." That is not a compliment to me. That hurts my feelings a lot. Like, don't
And
ever like try to praise someone by putting someone else down.
well, also
Um,
imagine how it would feel if that person was standing right next to them at that point in time too.
right, exactly. And
So,
I think another thing that maybe people who aren't within the community don't understand, and this might be a touchy subject actually. Um, this deals with like cosplay competitions. So I've been judging competitions, like craftsmanship competitions, for a decade now. Um, and people will watch these shows and they're like, "Oh my god, that build is so amazing! That should have won." When in reality, judges are looking at so many different things and the amount of skills. It doesn't mean that the biggest, coolest looking cosplay wins the competition. It's a craftsman, so whoever utilized and showed mastery of all the skills that they implemented wins the show. So that's been kind of a more, I wouldn't even say more recent, but I think it's gotten more publicity, like more voice behind it, of like people saying, "Oh, so and so shouldn't have won because X, Y, and Z. Or it didn't look cool enough." I don't know.
well, one on top of that, like one of the most interesting situations when it comes to like so I'm gonna kind of share, it's not really cosplay related,
Yeah.
but it's kind of cosplay related. Um
Mm.
my work had a costume competition, right?
Mhm.
We had some incredible costumes that took an extensive amount of time that were like borderline cosplays that could have been out there. But you know who won? The person who won had a sheet of paper on the front of their set on the front of their chest, and then a front sheet of paper on the back. And it was that
Was it
floating
the
shopping list from
I
SpongeBob.
was gonna say, was it the shopping list?
It was the floating
But
shopping list from SpongeBob.
and that's anytime I'm judging, like, one, a con is always gonna have like their rules and things that the judges are supposed to be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. Like, I always ask too, because like some conventions are different. Like, hey, is this competition, like, is this a masquerade really? Like, is this more for fun? How do you want me to judge these competitors? Like, am I looking at craftsmanship, or am I looking at vibes? Like, how am I? So a lot of your judges are also taking direction from like the showrunners, or like whenever people sign up for contests, etc., they'll have like different degrees that they'll have to look at. So yeah, like for that definitely wasn't a craftsmanship competition for sure. It was, who had the best costume, and that is more in like, opinion and vibe and laughs and stuff. So for sure.
But it could be anything, and like that's the beauty of cosplay. It's like it could start with just a belt on your head and calling yourself Coil Man,
Mhm. Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
it's still
it's
a
so cool.
cosplay.
It's still a
Yeah.
cosplay, like, and people forget that. So
Mhm.
how has cosplay defined your confidence or your creativity?
I think it has opened up the door a lot.
Uh huh.
I think it has helped me come out of my shell and become more of like this like pseudo extrovert. I can't, maybe that's why no one believes me. I don't know. Maybe I've evolved over time.
Hey, I may not be
Uh,
looking on this podcast, but I'm super introverted. Like I'm hella introverted. I like to sit offline, play games by myself. Like
right,
I
exactly. And so I think yeah, cosplay has helped me find a level of confidence that I didn't have before. It's helped me feel more comfortable in my own skin and my own body, and it's given me certain skills and a community and friends that like value that. So it's been very eye opening.
It's so awesome to see when it comes to like to allowing something like cosplay to open up the doors like that from a emotional perspective, and like to be able to allow people like or to allow yourself to take that next step just in personal growth is something that's just so freaking cool. So how do you think, that being said, that it's affected your creativity so much? How do you think the cosplay community has embraced you? And what would you like to see in the cosplay community moving forward?
I think that they, for the most part, like I've always felt very welcomed. Whether I've just been very fortunate to have good people around me and to have found my tribe very early on. But I've always felt very welcomed and loved and appreciated and valued in the community. I would like to see more of that kind of moving forward, more of an acceptance, whether that being like with different communities, just within the cosplay community, especially with that being like the acceptance and promotion and love of like our people of color and LGBT, like our other communities. And I think because it's so mainstream now, I feel like there's no reason for us not to be that accepting. Since it's especially with like TikTok, it's become so widespread. Like I remember cosplay was not something that you would tell people that you did outside of conventions. I remember that was something that like you would not talk about, and you definitely wouldn't post it online anywhere. Um or tell your family about, and then like TikTok was like, "Nah, this is cool. This is acceptable. Like these are actual skills that are super sick." And now it's like everywhere, and like cosplay is almost like a household term. Like if you drop cosplay, most people are going to know or have some idea what that means now, whereas before like no one knew what cosplay was. So I feel like especially with it being so widely accepted just in general, I feel like there's no reason why we can't accept like everyone else within the community.
I couldn't agree more. And I pride myself in creating a space where everybody is welcome. I don't care if you're gay, trans, lesbian. I don't care if your pronouns are controller and byproduct. It's whatever you are, you're welcome in my community because you are you are human, and I
Mhm.
like to connect with humans. I have a lot of people join my community and ask about my sexuality, and I never tell them. I could be
Mhm.
straight, I could be bi, I could be pan. You never know. And I think it's a
Mhm.
funny thing that the community still tries to figure out every day. So, because I'm very close about that type of stuff.
Mhm.
So, what's really interesting is one question that I want to bring up here is,
Mhm.
since as we're kind of wrapping things up, is what is
Yeah.
something that you're still learning about being a creator? What is something that you want to like delve into moving forward in your career?
Time management.
Oh hell yeah.
I feel like there's never enough time in the day for all the things I want to do, and then like ADHD just counteracts that constantly. So, just working within like the way that I'm wired still, and learning that within the scope of content creation of like what is going to work best for me with the time that I do have allotted for content creation, and then still like keeping time for myself. I've There's never enough hours in the day, and I always want to do more and more and more. And if you would let me edit for 26 hours a day, I probably would.
You and me both. I never stop. With everything that I do,
I know.
I never stop. Like I always am looking for things to like to talk about, to learn, and like from the back end of the things that like you're not going to see. Like when the podcast is over, I'll probably ask Pix to stay and like give me feedback. It's like the things
Yeah.
that you see like or that you guys don't see in regards to the content space, the stuff that I'm trying to like put out there for you guys to learn. And like what's something I'm still learning about being a creator um is how to make it work.
Mhm.
And because every single day things are completely different. Some days my push is crazy on TikTok and it will never push anywhere on YouTube. How can I make that video, whether I have to change certain aspects about it, blow up on each platform simultaneously? That is actually my goal when I'm posting content, is to find a video that does that. And I keep telling myself that I'm not going to stop until I find that golden video. And I probably never will, because no one can and no one will. But I want to.
If you find out the secret formula, please share.
And that's the whole thing, is like, you have to have the mentality as a content creator to want yourself to grow and to be introspective and to allow yourself to manifest certain things on the journey. It's like, for example, Razor Red said it best. Like, if you really want to make something happen, you're going to make it happen. It is just who you are. It is just what you're going to do. It is your goal. If I want to make a D&D campaign, I'm going to start a D&D campaign, and whoever wants to join it is going to join it. If I want to play COD, I'm going to play COD, and I'm going to be a master at COD, and whoever wants to be a part of it can be a part of it. So, that being said about the videos and stuff, are there any statistics that you think creators should pay attention to versus the view count and the stuff that doesn't necessarily inherently matter?
A good one. I think content creators need to keep in mind like their audience, like their community. I think it goes back to community. Like, who is your target audience? Like, you are never going to reach everyone. I think the devs of what was it? Helldivers 2. I think they said it best, was content or a game for everyone is a game for no one. Content for everyone is content for no one, essentially. Like, I think you should keep in mind your audience and like who you're targeting, because that's going to be your people, and that's who you're going to want to hang around, and that's who's going to want to be with you. And I think that way you can also kind of steer clear of like those bad actors, essentially.
I agree. My response to that question is actually interesting. I think the statistics that you should pay attention to are when the viewer count drops.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is, what is it? Something that you said, something that happened in a video, something that you did, that could have potentially made that drop. And then you can look back and you can be like, oh, maybe next time I don't add this. Or maybe I add something different. Maybe you re-edit that video and post the new version of it and see if it does way better. Because
experimenting, I think, is important.
Yeah,
being okay
A/B
to
tracks.
experiment.
A/B tracks. And A/B videos are huge. That's why Instagram has trial reels.
I
And
love those.
So I have one more question for you in regards to the content, to the podcast. And I ask everybody this. What is your advice to a creator that wants to hit the go live button? What should they know?
I think they should know that they are going to get out of it as much as they are willing to put into it. That it's fairly easy just to hit the going live button. But if you are wanting to create content that is consumed by multiple people, there are a lot of elements that go into that. There's differences of like, oh, I'm just making content just so that I can have fun. That is totally separate than like I'm making content for like on a business standpoint, or I'm making content for a community aspect. So figuring out like what your goal is, like why, again, kind of your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to go live? I think that is very important to like quickly understand.
I agree with you 100%. You have to identify your audience, and you have to have that boundary and idea going into everything. And my advice to any creator that is wanting to do it is to have fucking fun and remember why you wanted to go live in the first place. Is it because you want to be like Kaisenet, or is it because you just want to do it and have fun and be yourself? Do you want to make that step and like turn into whatever creator you want to be to, you have to define the process for yourself.
Mhm.
And remember that and let that be your driving force. Because when you create content that you're passionate about, that content is going to shine.
Mhm.
So,
I think that's so important. I think you said that really, really well.
thank you. So, do you have any closing remarks for anything before we wrap up?
I do actually.
Sure.
I try really hard to remember this. Sometimes my brain just goes burr and
Yeah.
I'll stream like way longer. I'm like, oh, okay, guys, I gotta go to bed. Night. But no, I try to close every stream with remember that you are valued, that you are loved, that you matter. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. That you're telling your loved ones that you love them, that you're loved, that you're important. Take your medicine, touch grass, and then sniff a bee.
Sniff a bee.
Yeah, you gotta change it up.
If I sniff a bee, it's gonna sting me, and I'm gonna have this like little mark on my face forever.
Yeah, you gotta, because they're expecting you to like go sniff the roses and see. No, sniff a bee. Taste the rose.
Just sniff a bee and taste the. I actually love that because it defines a lot what we are as creators is being genuine, being authentic, and then being completely fucking different. And it's amazing because we're our own human beings, guys. We really are. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody for popping out for today's episode of the PSP podcast. A huge special thanks over here to it's over there. Sorry. To
I'm somewhere.
To Miss Pixel Vixen. If you guys are not following Pixel Vix, you can actually click her thing in like the title, what's it called? The title, stream title. Yeah, and then you can do that thing and then you can follow her platform. And if you don't, I will yell at you. Well, not actually. I'll just
I'll cry.
She'll cry. Don't let her cry. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are an aspiring creator, if you're an aspiring cosplayer and you're ready to jump in or you're figuring it out and trying to find your voice online, just remember, be who you are, keep being perfect, keep being yourself, and you'll find that journey on your own. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the PSP podcast. You all have a wonderful day. Doses!
Come on, baby, get on down with your fancy. Come on, baby, get on down. You got to feel it. Oh, yeah.